Hello everyone, my name's Larry, aka Simidad. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all well. Welcome to this, our first and hopefully a new series of our journey from rookie to pro. We are getting going here in a Mazda MX-5 Cup on Lime Rock in the USA. First lap, qualified P18 for this race. Just as we come around the first turn, we are just bedding ourselves in and we will have a little chat along the way. First up, we've got this fella who's decided the grass is the quicker way. He's a car 24. We'll just take a quick look at what happened there, mate. So you can see he's just come around the corner, just overcooked it a little bit, just lost it and into the grass, something I've done many times myself in practicing. It's quite an easy corner to come off too quick there. We're back into my car now. This is my first online race. And so far, first lap seems like carnage. We've got something going on up here as well, which we'll have a look at here. Cheeky little tap here, and I should imagine there'll be some penalties handed out for that. But yeah, Lime Rock's not a particularly long course. We are, I think, sub 1 minute laps generally. I think the fastest I've seen is about 56.5 seconds per lap. When I first started out, it was over a minute, but I sort of managed to get that down. And we narrowly avoided a collision there, which could have been the end of our race quite easily. But yeah, now the first lap's out of the way, I can tell you I was insanely nervous running this first lap, or first race. Still finding my feet with driving with a wheel and pedal set. All my sim racing, quote-unquote sim racing, has been done on consoles with a controller, which is not quite the same. So yeah, we're just trying to find our way through the pack here, and just settle down into a rhythm of laps, because it's a 20-minute race, so we're probably looking at 20-21 laps roughly. So I'm going to try and find a steady rhythm on the course, and we can get ourselves going, try and find the best lines throughout. Now, when I did the race, I said qualified P18 out of a pack of 24, so sort of lower end of the tier, which I think a lot of that was down to nerves, didn't push hard enough on the qualifying session. And yeah, I was quite nervous doing the actual race, because I didn't want to and anyone else's race by taking a bad line or braking too late or anything like that. Our friend here, Roberto, just taking a little detour off the track there, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, didn't manage to capitalise on that, which is a bit frustrating, but again, I think I was afraid to push hard. So we're picking up on lap 5 now, which nothing much interesting happened on the end of the third lap or the fourth. The fifth lap was actually my fastest lap, and yeah, we'll see how we get on here. Looking to hopefully capitalise on some gains, move up the board. Yeah, so just kind of vying for position, trying to take any positions I can. Trying to desperately to catch up with our friend Roberto just in front there. As we came around this corner, to my absolute surprise, there was a chap giving away a free place up here. He's just pulled over on the side of the road. Let's see what happened to him. So again, just overcooked it. He's touched the white apex there, which these apexes are killer. But we'll take the free place definitely. And we come around the final bend. It's should be, I found out after, flat out in 5th, but I was taking it flat out in 4th, which was limiting my speed. And we are going to come through across the line in a 58.273, and that is going to be the fastest lap of the race. We'll skip ahead a little bit to lap 10. Nothing major happened to us in the preceding laps, just maintaining our line, finding the rhythm. Again, now I'm watching this back, I can see some areas where I could have improved, definitely. Like I said, this is my first foray into online racing. Still really finding my feet with wheel and pedal. So you know, I was reasonably happy with how the race was going. I've managed to keep it on track so far, and yeah, like I said, it was for me, it was all about finding the rhythm, not ruining anyone else's race by taking the wrong line or being slow or taking a corner wide and punting them off the track. So yeah, really just keen to get that going. We've still got Roberto up ahead of us, and it's pretty much there throughout the race. At this point, we are desperately trying to catch him, desperately trying to stay focused on hunting him down, picking him out of the pack. And it looks like from up ahead, it looks like he's having his own battle with another car. Again, this is a flat out in fourth corner, which I was lifting on occasion, and this corner up here is a flat out in fourth with a lift, and I just go running slightly wide through there, which is a bit annoying. And again, this corner you should take it flat out in fifth, but I was taken out in fourth. And we come across the line for the end of the 11th lap. Now the 12th lap, again, just trying to find that rhythm. See people trying to make sure no one's catching me from behind, and just trying to make some small gains to try and catch Roberto up, ideally to take the spot from him. I think at this point I was sitting in P12, I believe. I'm not 100% on that, but I think P12 at this point. Again, lifted on this corner, I should have kept it flat out, but live and learn. As we come up onto the penultimate corner, slight lift through there, a little bit of wheel spin on the way out, flat out through here, come up the San Posey straight. Now desperately waiting for Roberto to make the mistake, which I think he has done, or I think so. I take the position thinking he's made the fatal mistake, but when we look back at it, let's take a look at the replay, and he's actually having his own battle with this guy Bruno, which it looked like he'd been doing for much of the lap. He takes it cleanly, and coming up the San Posey straight across the finish line, comes up to T1, and he's on the braking line and gets a little punt from behind, which sends him off the track, and it makes a dangerous rejoin in my opinion. But nonetheless, as we take a look at the drone shots here, I will gladly take the position from him into what I think is P11. And I was quite pleased with that under the circumstances.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? What a race driver, dude. That was awesome.
So yeah, a little bit of bigging up there, or undeserved in the end, but nevertheless, free space is always good. Just carry on with the lap, and again, settle back into the rhythm. I was quite excited at this point because I haven't taken the space. Sitting close to top 10, which is where I'd hoped to be able to finish if I could. Yeah, I know that Roberto is going to be hot on our heels to try and get his space back. Our unfairly won space, as you can see him in the rearview mirror there. Feeling the pressure from behind, it's on me to try and keep the space, keep the rhythm going. I think Roberto is better than me. He seems to be better than me in the corners. And as you can see here, I'm just starting to get a little bit sloppy. Taking a couple of bad lines here, and it allows Roberto to close the gap, which is not ideal at all. We are hopeful that we can keep it off. We have still got probably 6 or 7 laps to go at this point, to the end of the race, because it's on a timer rather than a lap amount. As you see, just running wide there. Again, all of these little mistakes are just giving free time to Roberto to be able to catch up. And he is gaining fast on me. wants his space back, he wants his P11 back. He's not convinced that it's mine. He's pretty much hot on my tail right now, feeling the pressure. I am desperately trying to give it together, but as we'll see, I make a terminal cock up and run it a little bit sloppy in that corner, and I've no choice but to concede the position. And over to you, Max. What do you think about that?
I don't know. And like I said in the beginning of this press conference, I got really tired of all the questions. So, yeah, I think if I get a few more, I'll headbutt someone.
Okay, thanks, Max. So as our friend Max there, just giving his thoughts on that piece of crap driving, letting the guy through. But as you can see, Roberto is all over the place. He will have definitely had a cut for that, cut warning. He will have definitely had a cut warning for a previous offence as well. So at this point, I can see someone in my rear view. I've got Roberto's sights on in front, and I really need to be driving the best laps of my race here to be able to try and gain, or at least hold position. At this point, I am back in P12. So yeah, just trying to keep the rhythm. Struggle with the gears here, but I seem to be gaining slightly on Roberto through the corner. But I can see that the guy is gaining on us behind. So I can't tell you, at this point we are probably 16 minutes or so into the race, and my hands are starting to really feel it. And I'm starting to really feel the pressure of keeping it together, making sure I keep my car on the road, keep my eyes on guy in front, keep the eyes on the guys behind. Try and make some time and gain that space. Just come back onto the Sam Posey straight. Like I say, this is Lime Rock Park in the LFM Low Fuel Motorsport Series, and it really is a nice little track, but it's short. And I think this was week, we don't recall. Roberto goes off again, and we fail to really capitalise on that. He manages to retain his position. We do close the gap slightly, but he still does manage to maintain his position. If I'd have pushed harder at this point, I think I probably could have took him, but I think a lot of this was down to sort of first race nerves. And again, like I said, because I race in Low Fuel Motorsport, you have to get a licence. It's free to get the licence, it's free to race in the races. You can get the license taken away or get banned, things like that. It's quite similar to iRacing in that regard. Again, not the smoothest of line through that corner, which allows the guy behind just to close a couple of seconds on us. So he is coming through, and at this point I am more than certain that I wasn't going to be able to hold the position. I was desperately holding on, but I knew that there was at least 2, but probably 3 laps to go. And this guy behind is much quicker than I am. As like I said, I'm learning the ways. Starting to feel the pressure as he bears down on me, and hoping that I could keep him off my back. But with driving like this, that's not going to be possible. So I have no choice but to concede the position. That puts me up into P13 as we enter the final stages of the race. And now he enters a battle with Roberto. This guy is Kuro. So he is going to take the position from Roberto, I think. So Kuro and Roberto, they end up in a side-by-side battle. I'm in the slipstream. I could have, in hindsight, taken them at this point. I could have ducked out and gone round, I think. But I think I was first race nerves still, and was conscious that I probably wouldn't take the position very well. Now, unbelievably, at this point, but Roberto does take a trip to see our friend Barry, aka Barrier, and he does lose his place. I did watch back what happened to him. He ended up in the pit lane, I think possibly a penalty for a few lap cuts that I noticed. We do have this yellow Mazda beaming down on us now, trying to take my position. So at this point I am, I think, back in P12. This guy's coming through pretty fast behind us. We've got 2 laps left, I think. And I am at this point hoping with beyond hope that I could hold the position, but as we'll see, we were not able to do so. He was very much the quicker driver, and I stuffed it on this corner. So let's head back to Max. Max, what do you think about that?
I don't really have a lot to comment on that, except that he was being a pussy.
Thanks, Max. True facts. So yeah, I think it was just the stress, the pressure. So at this point, I'm back in P13, consigned to a P13 finish. As being on lap 20, I thought this would probably be the final lap. The guy in the yellow, he was barreling ahead. He's much quicker than I am. So I was, so consigned at this point to a final finish at P13, which, you know, starting at P18 or P13 wouldn't have been bad. As we cross the end of our 20th lap, we are now on the final lap of the race. Lap 21 was the final, and it's pretty much, there's no one really that close behind me, and it was just pretty much a case of keeping it together, which I failed to do here. Didn't get a track warning for that or anything, which was good. I think it was pretty safe exit and rejoin, but again, it just highlights the pressure that I felt to try and keep it all together and try and get a good finish. So as we come through, I think it's turn 4. Again, still lifting on there when you can take that through flat out. And it's just a case at this point of, I'm pretty certain that it was P13, so it's just a case of bringing it home across the line. But to my absolute astonishment, we see this fella here, red Mazda, just as we go past. He has stopped. Let's see what's happened to him. It just seems like he's just lost all power. He gets smacked up from behind, and then I don't know what's happened to him. I think possibly run out of fuel, or it's got some mechanical damage, but he knows it's the end of the race. He loses a ton of positions here, and he rolls down the hill. His engine's all but stopped. He's probably got very little brakes, if any, and that just hemorrhaging positions, and just allows us to go blasting past, getting the position to finish in a P12, which I believe is somewhat respectable for my first race from a P18. But yeah, we pull over to the side. That is the end of the race. Like I said, finished P12 overall, which I think was probably as best as I could have done on my first race. So that was week 4 at Rock Park on the current season of LFM on Assetto Corsa. I didn't do the week 5. I didn't have a chance to run that one. We will try and do week 6. But yeah, that is the end of the video, guys. If you have enjoyed this race sort of highlight review situation, do let me know in the comments what you thought. I'd love to hear from you. And if you've got any feedback or suggestions, do let me know that as well. Otherwise, hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're not already for more content coming soon. And follow the journey of me being an absolute rookie at sim racing, and hopefully I'll get somewhere decent as we progress through LFM, the Mazda Cup. Maybe we'll get enough experience that we can move up into some of the other cups that they got on there with more powerful cars. They've got the Ferrari Cup and other ones. We are also trying hard to get our license for ACC for LFM as well. That's a bit more tricky because you've got to pass a time trial for that. So just practicing for that. So hopefully we can bring some ACC LFM races as well. But for now, guys, that is going to do it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks.